in a bind.
And to fill the gap between bills being due and your paycheck hitting your account, new financial alternatives are popping up, promising to ease your cash flow problems.
Promising, right?
Promising is the key word.
Yeah, more than $9 billion in wages was accessed early during 2020, tripling the amount accessed in 2010, according to Data's Insight.
So the question this morning is, are these apps really a great idea?
Joining us now is CEO and co-founder of Oxygen Financial, Ted Jenkin. Ted, thanks so much for having this conversation with us. It's a big one.
Yeah, good morning, Dominique. Thanks for having me.
Yes, well, nearly 78% of people are living to paycheck, as we mentioned. Why are so many people needing to get paid in between nowadays?
Well, Dominique, people are just falling behind right now. Look, credit card debt is at an all-time high at 1.1 trillion. You've got auto loan delinquencies that are a 13-year high, and you just mentioned student loans, which are still at $1.7 trillion. So I think the pressure of rising prices and after-tax wages are just not keeping up with inflation, which is why a lot of people have to get these loans because they're just struggling to meet their basic bills. As you mentioned, 4 out of 5 people in America right now are really living paycheck to paycheck. So it's a real challenge. And we saw yesterday that consumer confidence slumped to a 2-year low. All of these things are hard for people to meet their bills across America.
Yeah, staggering statistics when you see it right there on the screen. Ted, kind of help us understand how these apps work that allow employees to get paid before their next paycheck. And are these loans expensive if you opt to use these apps?
Well, Fanchin, you know, earned wage access is nothing new. These have been around for a decade, but really what they are is they're small, short-term loans that people get in between their paychecks, week to week or biweekly or even monthly, that helps them meet basic things like their groceries or pay their rent or make a car payment. And then what happens is on payday, this money gets directly taken out of your paycheck. It's almost like a garnishment because you have to pay the loan back. And as you mentioned, these loans have skyrocketed. In 2020, yes, it was about $10 billion of loans. And as people fall behind, the number is even greater. And yes, it's very expensive for these loans.
Ted, are these apps really different from, say, going to a everyday loan store? I mean, what are the differentiations there?
I mean, Dominique, to me, this is like payday loans on steroids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically using a shiny technology wrapper to do the same thing that a payday loan store does. And a lot of employers today, they're basically incorporating this software in their payroll system, which makes it dangerous. I mean, think about this. Every one of these models had different fees and cost, and the model is completely different. How is somebody that doesn't have the financial literacy going to figure out what a daily interest rate is when they can't even figure out how much they're paying for streaming TV services every month? They're just not going to be able to do it. It's always a bad idea to take out this kind of debt, but I think it does prey on people, especially those that make $50,000 and less.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs that it needs to happen, but we have to be money savvy and we've got to pay attention to that fine print and what we're signing up for. Ted Jenkin, thank you so much for clarifying all of this for us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet.
Absolutely. Well, there is good news.